Hello, Local 304. I usually say Good Friday to you, but we're coming to you today on a Tuesday. David, who normally helps with the filming of this, is off to DC for Veterans in Energy. So him and Todd Daniels will be out there. You know, what a great partnership we have with the armed services in order to make that transition from back into civilian life and having a job. Todd told an excellent story at the AFL-CIO conference about knowing that when he's in country and he's out there fighting for the American way of life, that he knew he had a job to come back to, and that's so important. So we're trying to find that for other veterans and how they fit into craft jobs. And so David and Todd will be involved out there in that conversation this coming week. So I kind of want to start off in a different vein today. We had our West Star Health Utilization Committee meeting and went over our third quarter results and looking now at how we gonna price ourselves for next year based on our costs and our projections. So I wanna give you a couple numbers, things that we probably haven't done in the past. So we do show our medical costs have increased this year. We're up. We increased by about $138 per member per month, which is about 16%. Now that's just in the medical costs. Actually, on the drug side, we show a reduction of about $26 per member per month, or about 12%. So you factor those together with the medical, prescriptions, and dental, it winds up being about a 4% increase overall. So the committee met today and looked at it as a whole and decided that it would be best to go ahead and keep our plan intact as you have asked us to do, and just pass along that 4% increase. So when you take the total amount, because obviously we share that with the company and then it's broken out 80-20, it'll amount to somewhere around $6 to $12 a month per member, depending on your enrollment. But there was a couple of important numbers that I thought I'd share with you, because I know that as we move into an age where it's more about consumer-driven healthcare and making sure that we as users of the plan are looking at doing right things for the right reasons, and that's something your Health Utilization Committee always reviews, is what's the cost of our utilization and how can we make sure we're doing the right things for the right reasons. So I know there's still these ongoing conversations about MRIs and them being denied, and if there's step therapy out there, which there shouldn't be, and the problems with the chiropractors, those still live. We're still arguing those things. This is separate from that. So this just talks about overall cases and not get so far into the individuals. And we'll continue to argue for those individuals. As a matter of fact, you're going to hear more about that in the real near future. So a couple of things I wanted to share. We budgeted for about $7.7 million worth of utilization throughout the year, and so far we've actually come in around 7 mil. So you can see that while we're not quite there, we have close to $1 million yet that we budgeted for, but we're getting towards the end of the year, and so those numbers are going to continue to shrink. I will give you some good facts. Our drug utilization is up. Generic drug utilization is up again. We're up to 87.18%, and that's fantastic. You talk about consumer-driven health, that's the way to do it, because these drug costs are just astronomical. When we look at some of the specialty drugs, for example, there's actually a cholesterol medication that just 5 prescriptions cost the plan about $220,000. So there's definitely some high-priced drugs out there, which is a good thing. We want our members to be healthy, and we want to make sure we're doing everything we can to the opportunity for everything that's out there to keep us healthy. Diabetes is still our number one drug in our non-specialty, so that's something we need to pay attention to, and what we can do about that. So along that line, they have obviously metrics for preventive measures, things like your just your health and well benefits, your pediatric your visits, I should say, prostate screenings, all your normal screenings, colorectal screenings and whatnot. And some of these numbers are pretty amazing. So I thought this was good information to share to you, that, for example, on the pediatric well visits, total members eligible for screening are 928. members that have complied is 234, so that's only a quarter of our membership is actually doing those pediatric well visits. If you jump down to adult well visits, there's 2,038 of us available for that, and only 324 have actually gone in for their wellness visits, which is only just shy of 16% of us. So those are some key factors there that early diagnosis and early detection is really offsets those higher costs in the end. So what we're looking at is there a way that we can notify you to make sure you know those are available for you? Because just like the well visits, for example, are paid at 100%. And we've actually negotiated that day in the contract for you to take that opportunity to get those. So I'll share more information as it's appropriate, but I want to give you a little bit to chew on and see what we can do to continue to grow our healthcare plan. Again, we'll still be fighting those issues and still continue to let me know through Cigna issues at IBEW304.org whenever there are those problems you're having in getting a bill or getting coverage. Network costs, something we've heard a lot about now is that some of the out-of-network bills are not being paid. Where out-of-network obviously should be paid at 50%. If your doctor's in network and performing, if somebody in that procedure's not in network, it should be paid in network. So those are the kind of things we still need to talk about. So make sure you keep me informed of that so that we can help you and the plan be successful. I got kind of a different story I wanted to share with you today. These stories don't come around too often, but I had the opportunity to run into somebody I hadn't seen for a while and was sharing the story with me about how their life had changed based on the opportunities for a career that we offer here at Local 304. The individual told me that they were down to their last few dollars and decided to attend a function where I was present. And whenever they got the opportunity to talk to me, we was talking about jobs, and I was telling them about how they could come in and sign our books. And so he did that, and he's been employed with us for a number of years now, and they just moved into a much bigger house and was really appreciative of what the union wage and economics, retirement, and healthcare had offered them. So I thought that was a very good story. Again, I know we've talked about this in a lot of videos, but please share that information, that being union should be a good thing, not a bad thing. And I know that sometimes that gets that bad connotation. So unions are good, wages are good, and we need to try to maintain that. I'll give you an update on the safety impact bargaining. As you know, last week we talked about the company and implemented some of that. We're still looking at what opportunities we have to address those issues. I was in another meeting today, customer care, safety, and again going through the safety rules. They'll be in effect January 1, so we need to be having conversations about direction on that. Still, the big things are the FR clothes, the safety toe boots, and two-man hot crews. So those are probably the biggest items. Prescription eyewear, also another one to discuss. Gator was at Flint Hills today, renegotiating the Flint Hills agreement. It got voted down the first time, and so we're back at the table today, and they've reached another agreement, so they'll be taking that out for a vote. And also Gene has started his Wheatland negotiations today, so watching those and sounds positive. We'll see how it ends up. The NECA agreement has been sent out to print, and the Westar books are being printed as we speak. So hopefully I'm going to have those in your hands in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Again, I know we talk about this infrequently, but the NLRB, National Labor Relations Board, continues to reevaluate past cases, and we're seeing a lot of rollback of our previous wins. David Galvin's been doing a real good job on our Facebook page of sending out some short blurbs about what's happening there. If there was ever a time that we need to be paying attention, this is it, because it's amazing what kind of standards are being rolled back. And so I urge you to stay in contact with this office, and a unified fight is what we need in order to be able to maintain our unions and not let us be legislated out of extension. So I can't say it. Extinction. Thank you, members of Local 304, and I look forward to talking to you again next week.